Hey everybody, this is your girl, Big Sis Candace, and welcome to my channel. If you like this channel, please give it a thumbs up and reply to the comments section down below, and I definitely will reply back to you. This is a quick story time. I don't want to be too long, so I know everybody have a lot of things to do that's going on in their daily lives. This is just an experience that I had. I'm going to the strip club here in Michigan. It was one popular one that a lot of people used to, flock to. Two popular ones, but one in general, a lot of people like to go to, but they're not there, existing, not there anymore. So this is, one of them times that I went. So it was around the fall, kind of, coolish outside. So I'm, got my little outfit on, jeans on, heels on, cute little top on, my jacket, like short jacket on. And family member of mine, she went with me too. So all of us, just her and I, we decided to go ahead and go, just take a chance to see, what it's all about. Cause I told her I already had got a flyer when I had went to go get my hair done. And one of the ladies had a flyer. She said, "You want it?" She said, "Yeah, I want to see it." She said, "I got another one. Don't worry." She said, "Don't worry about it." She said, "I got plenty." I said, "Okay." So she gave me a flyer, and I told my family member about it. She said, "Well, you want to go?" She said, "Yeah, sure, I want to go. I ain't never been before." I said, "I ain't." I said, "I've been before in a long time, but," I said, "this is gonna be another feel like a new experience again for me going." So I said, "If you want to go, I ain't got no problem." I said, "I'll be on my way over there." She said, "Okay, no problem." So I already had my clothes and stuff that I was gonna wear. Got ourselves together. Left the house, went on down there, and we got there. We're looking at the crowd. So I'm like, it's a nice little crowd, people waiting in line. You know, just waiting patiently. So she decided, she was gonna park the car. I got on out, got in the line, and as we're waiting, my phone was going off a few times. I'm replying text messages and calls and listening to emails, doing all that as we're waiting in the line. And one of the guys hollered out from the door. He said, "All right, y'all ladies, y'all getting free tonight." We're like, "Oh, okay, cool, hey, all right, woo." People chanting, like, "Yeah, girl, hey." People like, "Sure, I'll call so tell them come on." So it's gonna be free tonight. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, shoot, that ain't bad. I'm like, I ain't never been living free tonight. It's gonna be a pretty good night. So it's gonna be some graphic details to let you guys know. I forgot to tell you that at the beginning. But if you're over the age of 18 and over, you can watch. If you're not, like my little babies, my little babies, I'm gonna have to go in the back, take a nap, play, do something, but you can't be can't listen to this part right now because it's gonna be kind of nasty. It's mainly for the adults only, so just let you know. So, we're waiting in the line. It was almost our chance to go inside the door. So I'm asking her. I said, when we get in here, I said, I wonder where we're going, how they gonna seat, seating arrangement. So I said, I don't know. So I'm in front of her. So I said, oh, okay. So I'm telling her, I said, oh, okay. I said, they got some tables up front, the front row, off to the right and to the left, in the main, where they got it at the tables, scattered various areas. So I said, where you want to sit? So you're gonna see in a minute. She said, oh, okay, cool. She said, oh. Said, what about the front? I said, I was thinking about that too. I said, you want to sit in a booth seat or you want to sit at a regular table? She said, it don't matter. I said, okay, let's do the table. She said, okay. I said, you want to do the regular table? You want to do the booth seat table? She said, oh, let's do the table. I said, okay, cool. I said, yeah, do that. I said, I want to do that because I said, I always wanted to do that, sit up front of the table. Because I said 9 and 10, they usually have, those are like for VIPs, you get to sit up front. But I said that particular night is free, so you can sit anywhere. So I'm like, let's sit up front. Let's do it. Let's, come on, let's go. So we did. Sat up front. They got the music playing. One of they had multiple TVs in there, so that was going on too as the music playing. We're sitting, just chit chat and stuff like that. wondering, how the crowd gonna turn out, who gonna come out perform. So as we're sitting there, they were getting certain areas set up because some people had like their birthday parties, bachelorette parties, stuff like that, little balloons and stuff like that. So some people was getting their little section together, as we're coming in. So we only had like 2 tables left. So they put, table runners, ones you can pre-cut. So that was going on, stuff like that. So it was real nice. So as we're sitting there, they had flyers on the table already. So I'm looking at the flyer, I'm reading it, you know, both flyers. So they had 2 at the table. So I'm reading it, see what they're gonna have at the club that we're at, and the one, you know, in the area down the street, a few blocks down. So I'm like, oh, okay. So, oh, cool. That ain't gonna be bad. I said, it's coming close to Halloween. Huh? Shoot, might go to that one. I don't know. So I asked her, I said, you want to? I said, they got 2. I said, Halloween got one and they got one on Thanksgiving. So I said, it's on you. I said, I do want to go to one of the Halloween ones. I really do want to go. And I said, it's on you. I said, whatever we decide to go, we can do it. She said, okay, no problem, cool. So we're just looking at the flyers, reading it off, stuff like that. And I'm reading off some of the dancers' names, looking to see, if I knew anybody, in particular. So that's when one of the dancers came in from that particular entrance door that we were walking in from. And yeah, he came over, waving to people, calling out his dance, you know, his name. Um, that he goes by and also his government name. So I'm like, plus, I can't hear. So I'm like, okay. So he came over, shook everybody's hand, gave people hugs, stuff like that. People brought out their cell phones, took pictures. So, it was real nice that he waved to certain people that he couldn't get over there because he had to hurry up and get to the back, get himself going. So he's like, ladies, we were like, woo! It was funny. He was like, y'all gonna have a motherfucking great night tonight. We're like, hell yeah, woo! We're just laughing. I'm cracking up laughing because I'm looking directly at him and I'm like, oh my God, he is sexy as hell. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, I'm like, wee. So, oh my God. And I'm blushing because I'm laughing. And I'm like, I'm picturing like what he got on underneath them clothes. I'm just picturing like visualizing everything. So as he said it, another one came out, but he came from the side door there and he's walking, but it was so many people in that little section here, but I couldn't see him. So he, kind of like blended through and then he went past and I'm like, oh, what's that? She was like, what you talking about? Who was that? I said, okay, hold on. I said, you gotta look real quickly. I said, look to the left. I said, you see him? He's standing right there, brown skin, slim, nice bald head. And she said, go teeth. I said, yeah. She said, oh my God, who is that? I said, I don't know, girl, but I said, that is nice. So I'm like, what's up on that? She was laughing. So it was 2 ladies. They came over, to our section. They were real nice. They asked, if anybody was sitting there. I said, no problem. You can sit on. She said, oh man. So she said, girl, I can't wait, girl. She said, so gonna be dancing tonight, man. I can't wait. She said, I heard his shit is big. I'm like, what are you talking about? Some big thing, man? What are you talking about? Oh Lord. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what who it is? So I'm like, I'm trying to get everything together, two and two together, like who they talking about, dancer wise, I don't know. I'm like, wonder who it is. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. So I barely remember mine. She asked, she said, so when the last time you been up here? I said, ugh. I said, you know what? I don't know. I said, it's been like a long time. Like I'm talking about like the late 90s. I said, that's the last time I've been to here and the one down the street. I said, that was the 90s. I said, for real. So they had 3 of them I've been to before. But I said, they had closed one of them down and kept these 2 open. And I said, I've been, last time I've been was like in the 90s, like late 90s. So I said, that was like the last time I've been. But I said, I had, okay night. But I said, it could have been better, depends on, the people who I was with, They try their best to make it alright. But I said, you know how I get weed and liquor got to everybody. I was like, y'all fucking up my vibe. I'm like, I can't enjoy myself. So ever since then, it was like, I just refuse not to go anymore. Depends on who asks me. They might want to, want to go. I might go. But 9 out of 10, it's like, once in a blue moon, spur of the moment, just something to do. Just to, see how it is. Plus, I said I haven't did it in a long time, so it's kind of like fresh to me doing this all over again. Plus, I said the dancers who I remember dancing, I said I don't know who still dances or not, but I said half of them that I know of still dance, but they don't dance here anymore. But they out of state or they travel or they do their own, um, do private shows, stuff like that. So I said, they said, only I know, I said, I know him. So I point out one of them. She said, oh, she said, yeah. I said, he go, I said, where I go get my hair done. I said, he, pop in there sometime, say hi to the ladies and stuff like that. 'Cause I said, it's a lady that work in there. She knows some of the dancers. And I said, he come in there sometimes. And I said, him, definitely him. And I said, I only see him like 3 times, but I didn't, didn't know who he was though, till she told me who he was. And I was like, oh, for real? She said, yeah, he work at Watts Club Mozambique. And I'm like, what? I'm like, for real? I said, he work at Watts? She said, yeah, he go by a certain name. And then on top of the name, he go, he have an act. It's like a group of them. He in the act. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I gotta go check that out. She said, you should, girl. She said, I'm telling you. She said, it's worth your money. She said, it's worth your dollars to give him $1. She said, I'm telling you, it's worth your dollars. She said, don't do like me. She said, you ain't gonna have no money left when you leave out the building. When you see him come out perform, it's him. She said, then there's 2 more people on there. So she hollered at somebody, that the other lady that was getting doing her nails. So she told us, yeah, so where your flyer at, the new one that you got? So she showed me who was on the flyer, who to give the money to, who's actually good to give their money to, and that's not gonna be coming over there, brushing up against you, gonna ask you like money hungry, stuff like that. So I said, okay. So I was remember what she was telling me as we were there. So we're just sitting there, family member in our mind. We're just sitting there, just chilling, talking, stuff like that, waiting for, the show to start. And that's when lady, she came by, she gave us our drink, stuff like that. We're just sitting, just patiently just sitting, waiting. So as the MC came out, he did his little, skit thing, hype the crowd up, stuff like that. So they had amateur night. So they did that too. So they had, 3 guys came out, they did a little solo act. They did a good job. I gave, both of them some money, they deserve their money. They did a good job. So they did their thing. We had a vote on what names, sounds good to them, stuff like that. It was funny. So yeah, they had some good names. We gave out. One of them had one that he wanted to go by. The other 2 we had to like vote on what's a good name to give them to. So it turned out good. So when they got done with that, your basic, dancers came out, did a little solo act performances, stuff like that. Trios, depends, what's going on and how they gonna perform. So this one guy, he came out, brown skin. He looked like he can be like an R. Kelly wannabe. He was trying to have that persona as one. So he came out, came out walking, do his little showmanship and shit, just showing off, doing a little routine. So he's dancing one of R. Kelly songs, an old one. So as he dances to the song, I can hear him sing. I'm like, oh my God, he cannot sing worth shit. He couldn't sing. He couldn't dance. All his little routines he's doing, doing like R. Kelly style, but he's not doing a good job. So he came over, squatted down, danced. He smelled like, straight up shit. This smells nasty. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, damn, I gotta get away from him. So I got on out my chair, walked across that stage, jumped off, and stand at the bar. One of the dancers asked me, was I all right? I told him what was going on and why I did it. He was like, damn, so that's fucked up. I said, yeah, it is fucked up. So I ain't going over there until he's done. So yeah, so through the whole night, they came out, did a little solo ass performances, people took their money, G string, stuff like that. I put 25 cents down his. And I put some mint candy down as G string also. Then towards the end of the night, he was trying to approach me again, wanted some more money. And I'm looking at him and I told him, I said, a few times I told him no, I'm good, no, it's all right. But yeah, but yeah, that's mainly what happened. But yeah, hope you all have a good day. And hope you guys check back at my channel. We'll have another story time. It's going to be another one. Bye bye.